Welcome back to Football is Political, but different. Here we will be updating you on the different weeks of the NFL, like week 5, week 6, like we're doing in this one. My name is Peyton Hayes. You should know me from Football is Political Part 1. Part 2 soon to come out, and I'm here with my brother Jackson. Jackson, please introduce yourself.
My name is Jackson, and I love my brother.
How sweet. Now, here we're gonna start you with week 5. Okay, so interesting enough, week 5 completely got started with the Chicago Bears having a breakout, as Justin Fields threw 4 touchdown passes. And don't forget that the Bears got their first win of the season, didn't they, Jackson?
Yeah, I'm happy for them in week 5, but it's kind of sad that they just got their first win.
Why is that sad, Jackson?
Because I feel like Justin Fields can do better than just getting his first win in week 5. I feel like they should have got like their first win in like week 2 or 3, but they probably had a tough matchup.
You do have a point, but it's, they were matched up against the Washington Commanders. Not much of a tough breakout, is that? Or matchup, is that?
No. But Justin Fields did show out, and that's good for him. I bet the coach is proud of him. And, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's about it for week 5. Moving on to week 6. Starting on Sunday. I actually want to let my brother do this one.
All right. Sunday, let's see. So, Sunday, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills went up against each other in London. And the Bills' offense was good enough to win in London. But the Jaguars' defense slowed the high-flying Buffalo Bills' offense.
Therefore, leaving the Jacksonville Jaguars with a win against the Buffalo Bills. Disappointing. Even though the Buffalo Bills beat the Dolphins the week before, it's very fun to watch them win as a proud Dolphins fan. Jackson, what team are you a fan of?
The Kansas City Chiefs. Go Chiefs!
Not a bad team to be a fan of. Not at all. That was week 5. That was all of week 5. That was most of week 5. We should move on to more of week 5.
Week 6.
No, week 5. We're not doing week 5.
Oh.
Okay. Also in week 5, Las Vegas and Green Bay went up against each other. Interesting matchup. It was kind of an ugly victory, I'm gonna be honest. It scared the Raiders a bit, but the Raiders pulled through. Absolutely. With an awesome defense playing in that match, and the offense pulling through in the end, the Raiders won 17-13 against Green Bay. Jackson, do you have anything to say?
The Raiders won. I feel like Green Bay kind of just went downhill when they lost Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback for them. So that kind of sucks for the Green Bay. But the Raiders, do the Raiders still have Derek Carr?
I think they do.
Well, if they do, good job, Derek Carr, for pulling out a nice win for the Raiders. Good job, Raiders.
It is. Sadly, 3 interceptions were through in that match. Rough game, very rough. I watched it myself. Jackson, did you watch it?
No, I didn't. But after hearing that probably scared the Raiders a little bit. But they still pulled out a W, and that's good for them, but bad for Green Bay.
It is. Jackson, you're doing very well here. Next up, a much more interesting match. San Francisco 49ers versus Dallas Cowboys. San Francisco winning 42-10. And you know what? Before week 6, we can talk about week 5. They were completely undefeated. People asking, when will they lose a game? Will they make it to the Super Bowl undefeated? Kind of like the Dolphins did in 1972. Is it going to be a perfect game? If you wait till week 6, you'll see that it absolutely was not. But off their undefeated season, we can see that both defense and offense put in a lot of work. Brock Purdy definitely absolutely did not hold back in that match. He definitely put in most of his effort. Jackson, do you have anything to say about this game?
I'm just proud of Brock Purdy because he was just a backup until Lawrence got hurt in one of the games and he was injured. And then they put in Brock Purdy, and he lit on fire. Like, he sparked San Francisco, and now he's their starting quarterback, and something tells me that he's going to lead them into victory this year.
Absolutely, Jackson. And on the Cowboys during that match, there's now a pretty big gap between the Cowboys.
Did you mean the Cowgirls?
Yeah, the good one. But there's a pretty big gap between the Cowboys and the 49ers now.
Yes.
Yeah. Next match, and this was a very interesting one. Kansas City Chiefs versus here goes Jackson. Jackin. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Minnesota Vikings. This match was, they were very interesting. Yeah,
Travis Kelce against Justin Jefferson. Ooh.
I have no words for the Vikings. Travis Kelce, his value is way more evident than it has ever been. And Taylor Swift
Probably could have
ruined Travis Kelce.
It could have messed up his career because Taylor Swift, it's almost every single NFL player that starts dating a celebrity, they get injured. But I'm just hoping because my brother Peyton goes for the Dolphins, I go for the Chiefs, and we play next week. Is that right?
No. This on Sunday we play the Eagles.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough matchup. But about the Chiefs, good job, man. I hope Travis Kelce gets better because when it comes that we play the Dolphins, it's gonna be tough because the Dolphins haven't had Tyreek Hill very long. They just got him mid-season last year, I think. No, 2 years ago, in 22. But the Chiefs, 21. But it's gonna be a tough matchup with the Chiefs and the Dolphins, and I just hope that it's no anything bad happens. No quarterback injuries because, Tua's a little titty baby and he got concussions. But Tua is a very good quarterback. As you see his helmet, they gave him a better helmet. So now he won't have less concussions. But let's hope the Chiefs can pull out a victory.
Yes, Jackson. Very good. You're doing great for your first podcast. But sad part about that game is the Vikings didn't even try. It didn't seem like that in the first half where they committed a turnover in their first possession against the Chiefs. Very sad. But I think it's time to move on to the next game of Week 5. Oh, wait, my brother has something to say.
The first turnover, the Vikings' first drive. Well, not first drive, but first time having the ball, they turn it over. That just proves the Chiefs' defense is good.
It does, Jackson. It does. But on to the next game. The New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. 31-21. Jets won. Denver lost. Of course. Well. Sorry, I went silent there for a second. This is just hard to say. I'm just gonna be honest. Offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett should take Brees Hall on a steak dinner. He should take.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, but he should buy Brees Hall a steak dinner after that game, if you know what I'm saying. And think about it, if you come to think of it, every one of the Jets should treat Brees Hall to whatever he wants. With the Jets sputtering an ugly game, Hall lifted an entire team with a career performance. Think about this, 22 rushes for 177 yards, including a 72-yard touchdown that completely changed the game. Playing on the same field where he suffered a season-ending knee injury in 2022, Hall replaced that horrible memory with a highlight film that helped Hackett have the last laugh after coach Sean Payton maligned him before season. But go ahead, Jackson.
The Jets had a tough injury, and that was Aaron Rodgers. They spent all their cat money on that man, and he gets injured. That sucks. That has to suck, but nice win for the Jets, and that's really all I have to say. Peyton, here you go.
Thank you, Jackson. And now we have to ask, why is there reason to worry about Denver's run defense? The Jets' scoop and score fumble return in the closing seconds sealed the win, but Broncos' run defense set that messy table for long before. After holding the Raiders to 61 yards rushing in the season opener, Denver's rush defense had given up 122, 350, and 171 and 234 yards. Upcoming opponents such as the Chiefs, Packers, and the Bills will force the Broncos to defend the run out of their nickel package. And, that has just been a significant trouble spot for the Broncos. But enough talk about that game. We should move on to the next one. The Cincinnati... you know what? My brother wants to do this one.
The Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. Cincinnati pulls out a win, 34-20. Is Joe Burrow back? Yes, he absolutely. But not only...
We have to ask, is Joe Burrow back?
Yes, he is. Not only did Joe Burrow have his best passing game since he suffered his calf injury, completing 36 of 46 passes for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the mobility he lacked through the first 4 games was very present against the Cardinals. Burrow had back-to-back scrambles for gains. Something was sorely lacking in the first 4 games, but his movement was on full display on an 11-yard touchdown pass to Ja'Marr Chase.
Ja'Marr Chase, yes. As the wide receiver in the fourth quarter, he did make a 11-yard touchdown pass to him. He held the ball for 4.8 seconds according to the NFL Next Gen stats, buying time for Chase Street open. The Cardinals didn't do much, no. So there's not much to say about them. But now we're on to Philadelphia versus the Los Angeles Rams. Philadelphia pulling the win in 23-14. But once again, I want my brother to take over this one. But we first asked the question: has Jalen Hurts regained his MVP form?
It looks that way. Jalen Hurts amassed nearly 400 yards to offense and set a season high in rushing yards. He became the 4th player in the NFL history with 50 pass touchdowns and 25 rushing touchdowns. In his first 50 NFL games, joining Dante Culpepper, Cam Newton, and Josh Allen, Hurts played well the first 4 weeks, but with his running game off against Los Angeles, he went to another level. reminiscent of his 2022 campaign. Good job, Jalen Hurts.
Yes, good job, Jalen Hurts. And like the last match, there's not much to say about the Rams. They made no feats in this game, so I think it's time to move on to one of the most surprising matches of this week: Detroit Lions versus the Carolina Panthers. Detroit won 42-24. And we have to ask the question, have the Lions upgraded at running back with David Montgomery as running back 1? With Jahmyr Gibbs out with a hamstring injury, Montgomery continued to carry the load with 109 yards on 19 carries. Wow, that's interesting right there.
Incredible.
His rushing touchdown on Sunday gives him the 6th in his 4 games. Former Lions runner back Jamal Williams set the franchise mark with 17 rushing touchdowns last season. That is very, very incredible. I can't help but to congratulate the Detroit Lions and keeping record for the Carolina Panthers with still a failing record going on, 0-5 by this game. There's not much to say about, like I said, there's not much to say about the Panthers.
Can I say one thing about Bryce Young?
You can say one thing about Bryce Young, brother.
Please, Bryce Young, when he left Alabama, it kind of drove Alabama down the hill, but Bryce Young is kind of butt this season because I don't know if it was against Detroit, but if you go on TikTok or YouTube or something and search up Bryce Young lining up wrong, you'll see an ESPN video. Man lined up behind his guard, not his center. Some say he was reading the defense, but he lined up wrong because running back Sanders had to push him back into the right lineup spot. But Bryce Young has made some good scrambles. That's a tough one for Justin Fields on not scrambling, but speed as quarterback. Because Bryce Young is a speedy little quarterback, and when I say that, he is. He's short. He can't even do his quarterback sneak. That's why they had to get the other quarterback in there.
Yes, Jackson. You are right about that. But with the conclusion of that game, we should definitely move on to the next game. Atlanta Falcons versus the Houston Texans, where the Atlanta won 21-19. Jackson?
Great win.
We need to ask this question, though. Is Kyle Pitts' season breakout what jolted Ritter's best day as a pro?
After a week full of questions about job security, quarterback Desmond Ridder responded with his best game as a pro, completing 28 of 37 passes for 329 yards and a touchdown, while rushing once for a 7-yard touchdown and completing his second fourth-quarter comeback this season. It is in his first game over 250 yards passing as a pro. A lot of it had to do with the reemergence of the tight end, who had his most receptions 7-4.
You know what? It's 7-4-87 yards, Jackson. But thank you for giving us that amazing description of what happened during that game. For Houston, there's not much to say about them. Having a good season so far, they're not the best team, I can go ahead and say. Next game, Miami Dolphins versus the New York Giants. 31-16, Miami Dolphins won. Give me a second. Jackson would like to say something.
About the last game we were doing, but the Texans could have pulled out a win only if the Falcons would have missed the field goal with a couple seconds left in the fourth quarter. Great job to the Texans because they were gonna win, but great job to the Falcons kicker for pulling out the win for the Atlanta Falcons with the field goal.
Indeed. And you know what? I'm very happy that you brought that up. But on to the Miami Dolphins game. Miami winning 31 against the Giants, who had 16 points. And we really have to ask this question as a Miami Dolphins fan: Has Has the emergence of Devon Achane turned the Dolphins into a run-first offense? Once again, the rookie did it, turning in his straight 100-yard rushing performance, highlighted by a 76-yard sprint to the end zone. Has his fifth touchdown this season. Achane finished with 151 yards on 11 carries. Wow. I really can't show how proud I am for these people. And for the speaking about these people, we had to bring in Raheem Mostert, which was no slouch at all, with 65 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries. Miami still tore up the Giants' defense, though, and threw the air to the sorry, guys, I have a little frog in my throat. To the tune of 302 yards. But if Achane and Mostert are going to continue to run the ball this effectively, Miami is going to have to ride that until their wheels fall off. Not much to say about the Giants. They did not do much, and as a 1-5 team now, they haven't had many feats. But Jackson would like to say something about the next game in New Orleans versus
The Giants. I was trying to say something about
New England. But first we have to ask the question, can the Saints sustain their offensive success?
One thing about the Giants, they was it Eli Manning or Peyton Manning?
It was Eli Manning.
After they lost, after the Rams took Odell Beckham Jr., or should I say Oatmeal Back Hair Jr.?
The Rams, you mean Giants?
No. He played for the Giants before. And when they lost Eli Manning, that hurt them a lot, because that was the two that carried the team to victories. But let's move on to the New Orleans and New England.
With New Orleans winning
34-0
against the New England Patriots, we have to ask the question once again, can the Saints sustain their offensive success?
The Saints haven't had any momentum on offense dating back to last season, and they've got their share of criticism after scoring only 9 points in a loss to the Buccaneers last week. The Saints did what they wanted to do all season. It's still a bit, whatever that word is,
Sorry, guys, I was doing something. My brother needs a little help pronouncing a word.
Looks like I can't remember how to say it, because
What is the word, Jackson? Can you spell it out for me? Established, Jackson. Yeah, my brother is still learning how to say some words. He's still a little titty baby. I'm just kidding. He's cool. Don't punch me. Okay, well, there wasn't much to say about that game. I think,
Good job. Great job to New Orleans.
absolutely. And you know what? I know a lot more games were played on this week, but, because of time reasons, we must cut it short and move directly on to week 6. Jackson, would you like to say anything before we cut to week 6?
To two teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. Those two teams showed out this week. They did incredible. The Miami Dolphins, really, they still need to practice, but they're a really good team. The Chiefs, without Travis Kelce right now, that's going to hurt them, because, Taylor Swift is garbage. It's not a love story, but let's move on to week 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but before we actually cut to week 6 completely, I want to ask a couple questions that have been asked around, America during week 6. Who is the best team in the NFC right now? With the 49ers and the Eagles both losing in that game, that means the Detroit Lions are now tied with the best record of the NFL. It's hard to say about it's hard to say who the best team is in the NFC, but I think I give my vote to the Lions, to be honest. If the 49ers are fully healthy, I think it's them, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries. As for the Eagles, they just, don't look as dangerous as they did last year. And there's one more.
They lost in the Super Bowl.
Indeed. And there's another question asked: which 3-3 team has the best chance to make the playoffs in AFC? Jackson would like to answer this one.
There are currently 5 teams. There are currently 5 teams with a record of 3-3. The Colts, the Texans, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Bengals. The Bengals, 3-3. That does not sound right, does it?
It does not.
But can't help that. The Bengals have the best chance to make it to the playoffs. Since that was an obvious answer, we also voted for a second team, and the Texans actually came on top there. Great job to both of those teams. Good luck making it to the playoffs.
Good luck indeed, Jackson. We will see who makes it to the playoffs soon enough. Indeed. And last question asked. Should the Falcons bench Desmond Riddler? And we seem to have had this debate every other week. And after watching Ritter throw the 3 interceptions against the Commanders, I feel more confident in my answer than ever. And I'm going to say this with my heart. The Falcons should at least start to think about giving Taylor Heinicke a shot. But, now, we will go on to the first game of Week 6. Commanders, the Falcons. Against the Falcons, winning 24-16 over them. The Commanders won, Jackson. To take away from this match, after getting lit up for 40 points by the Bears in Week 6, the Commanders' defense bounced back with a huge victory against the Falcons. The defense came up with 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. Wow, that's crazy. In the second half, and let me just pause for a second. I need to do something. Anyway, in the second half, with all of them, and all of them were huge. Kendall Fuller thought the first one. And it caught the first one, and it set up a 27-yard touchdown drive in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Jamin Davis iced the game with a pick. Ain't that insane? The Commanders' offense is still struggling with some big issues, like protecting the quarterback. Sam Howell got sacked 5 times. But those problems are a lot easier to deal with when you're coming off a win like Washington is in this week. Nothing much to take away from the Falcons. They didn't do very good. They could do a lot better, in fact. But,
especially how they were in 18.
It definitely. On to the Falcons. I mean, not the Falcons. I apologize. On to the Miami Dolphins winning over the Panthers. 42-21. Wow. Anyway, we would like to call them comeback kids. With their 42-21 win over the Panthers, the Dolphins became just the 5th team in history to win a game by 21 points or more after trailing by 14 or more after one quarter. This Dolphins joined the 1959 Packers, the 1995 Raiders, and 2006 Cowboys, and the 2011 Cowgirls, yes. And the 2011 Patriots as the only teams to pull that off. And we can't forget how Tyreek Hill is making history with 163 yards against the Panthers. Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. Yes, Jackson, you're right. Tyreek Hill just became the first player in NFL history to record 4 games of 150 yards or more in the first 6 weeks. Hill has the most receiving yards, 814 through 6 weeks since Don Houston in 1942. The Dolphins have a very good company, too. The Dolphins are just the second team in NFL history to score at least 15 rushing touchdowns and 15 passing touchdowns through their first 6 games. The only other team to do this was the 1958 Colts, and they ended up winning the NFL title that year. And we'd like to mention Philadelphia's first loss, losing to the New York Jets. Just know that the Chiefs made, not the Chiefs, but every team made amazing feats. And we would love to continue this, but because of time management, we like to say goodbye for this podcast.
Yeah,
and
can we do the Chiefs real quick?
Do you want to do the Chiefs?
Yes, we did your team.
Okay, we can do the Chiefs. Never mind, Jackson would like us to do the Chiefs real quick because, of course, it's its favorite team. Now, the Chiefs, they did pretty great. Jackson would like to take this one.
19-8. It's after, like we were talking about in the beginning of this, the matchup between the Dolphins and the Chiefs is going to be tough for the Chiefs because the Dolphins beat the Denver Broncos. Hold on.
Oh, no, keep talking.
Okay. Well, after they beat the Broncos, after Miami won 70-20, the Chiefs only won 19-8. After seeing that, Patrick Mahomes was sleeping good. But good job to the Chiefs for getting a win on Week 6, and we'll see you next time on Week 7 and 8.
Yes, and that's where we will continue these updates after week 7 and 8. We would like to, me and Jackson would both like to thank you at the very same time for listening to this podcast and to our updates. I know this might be low quality and stuttery a bit, but we would like to y'all for know that this has been me and my brother's dream to start a podcast, and we really are thankful for you guys listening. Jackson, would you like to say anything?
Everything he said. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to watch the NFL.
Yes, do not forget to watch the NFL. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and always click the bell so you know that we will always bring more podcasts. We love you guys. We really do. And bye-bye.
Peace out.